But we as a continent must now define ourselves.
In the news, 2021 UTME, no NIN, no exam, JAMB. Politics, Ivory Coast appoints third prime minister in a year. Egypt, building collapse leaves several people dead. Bilateral trade, Iran and China signed 25-year cooperation agreement. 2022 World Cup qualifiers, Rashford, Saka withdraw from England squad with injuries. Details shortly. This is TOS Television, your digital-first Pan-African news network. I am Rose Audu, and this is TOS News 360. Nigeria on Friday recorded 113 new COVID-19 cases in 10 states, thus continuing a steady run of low infections figures. The new tally, which is slightly higher than the 97 infections day earlier, raised the total infections in the country to 162,388. This is according to an update published by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control on Friday. The country also recorded 3 deaths from the COVID-19 on Friday, raising the fatalities in the country to 2,039 in total. Meanwhile, the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB, has announced its decision to enforce a strict no-NIN, no-examination policy as it prepares for the 2021 JAMB UTME examination exercise. JAMB Registrar Professor Ishaq Oloyede gave the at the virtual meeting with owners of computer-based test centers, service providers, and other stakeholders to kickstart the 2021 UTME registration.
Everybody who wants to register with us must have completed his registration with NIMC. All we need is your NIN. And once you give us the NIN, we continue from there. One of the problems we saw last year was that we wanted to integrate the process of registration into our own system. And because of certain incompatibilities, it wasn't easy. So we have given a whole year for people to register on the NIN. All we require this year is a candidate to send his NIN to our own system, and that's all. We don't even require the name of the candidate. For us, at our own small level, it helps us to avoid impersonation. But there's a bigger picture of insecurity in the country, and you know that many of these problems we have is because we have identification problem. We cannot identify every citizen where he is and what he's doing.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has arrested a Canadian lady, Vivienne Tamarji, at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, for alleged trafficking of 234.35 grams of substance suspected to be heroin. The agency said she was arrested while boarding a flight en route Addis Ababa to Italy with the substance concealed in her private part. The agency's director, media and advocacy, Femi Babafemi, said in Abuja that the trafficker, who runs a saloon business in Italy since 2016 upon her relocation to the country via Libya, was arrested by vigilant narcotics agents during an outward clearance of the airline at the boarding gate after being scanned. The National Universities Commission, NUC, has approved the operations of 3 new federal universities in Delta State. The universities are Delta State University of Education, Agbo, Denis Osadebe University, Asaba, and Delta State University of Science and Technology, Ozoro. The Executive Secretary of NUC, Professor Abubakar Rashid, while presenting the license to the Delta State Governor, Ifeanyi Okowa in Abuja, said the development would increase access to university education in the state and added that the commission will continue to work with the state government to ensure the universities take their place among other ivory towers.
As a result of the continuous increase in demand for degree programs, the College of Education Agbo at the moment has over 50% of its students' population enrolled into the degree programs. Hence, it is utilizing most of its resources to run degree programs to the detriment of the National Certificate of Education, NCA. Similarly, due to the low student subscription to the Delta State Polytechnic Zoro, its resources are being underutilized. For the 2019-2020 academic section, 25,896 candidates chose the University of Abraka, Delta State University Abraka, as first choice. Out of this number, 22,358 qualified, but only 4,854 candidates, just about 20%, could be admitted.
Delta State is one of the most endowed in terms of the potentials for education. It's one of the most blessed in terms of primary and secondary school enrollment and transition. But to move up, they have to leave the state to move to other places, and they do not then attract many others. So this is a foundation upon which I want us to appreciate any effort to create more space for university education in Delta State.
As a furor over wearing of hijab in Grant Ada schools in Kwara State rages on, the 13 Baptist conferences in southwestern Nigeria yesterday urged Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak to consider return of the schools to the original owners. The Kwara and Kogi State spokesperson of the group, Oyewale Oyeniyi, said this while addressing reporters in Ilorin. And this is your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. You're watching TOS News 360. More stories after the break. Welcome back. This is TOS 360 News. Two persons, Olaiya Tunde, 21, and Akinoye Festus, 24, have been remanded in a correctional center by an Oke-Igbo magistrate court for allegedly killing one pious Dada Omoni. The accused persons were said to have killed the deceased in bush, after which they severed his head, removed his 2 arms and 2 feet. They were arraigned on 2 counts of murder and conspiracy, which contravened Section 316 and punishable under Section 516 and Section 319, subsection 1 of the Criminal Code, Cap 37, Volume 1, Laws of Ondo State of Nigeria, 2006. Police prosecutor Abdul Latif Sule informed the court the accused committed the offense on August 14 of 2020 at Our Road, Okegbo area. The Federal High Court in Bauchi on Friday awarded 210 million naira against the Nigeria police as compensation for their brutality leading to the death of 2 persons and life-threatening injury of another man. It was reported that Abdul Wahab Bello, Ibrahim Babangida, and Ibrahim Samaila were allegedly tortured by the divisional police officer of the Township Division in Bauchi. Baba Ali, a superintendent of police, on July 21, 2020, over alleged theft of chickens belonging to a retired police officer. And in Ivory Coast, the government announced Patrick Achi as its new prime minister. Achi is the 4th person to hold the post in the past year after the death of 2 predecessors. His appointment was announced in a statement read by President Olasani Ouattara's chief of staff, Fidali Sasoro, at a media briefing. Achi, a 55-year-old technocrat who's served as a Secretary General in the presidency for the past 4 years, is an elected official, having recently won a seat in parliament for his native Azope in the country's southeast. And in Ethiopia, the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has confirmed that the government of Eritrea has agreed to a withdrawal of its troops from the Ethiopian territory along their Canon border. The Ethiopian Prime Minister stated this barely a few days after acknowledging that Eritrean forces had entered Ethiopia Tigray region during an almost 5-month unrest. He also confirmed that the Ethiopian National Defense Force will take over guarding the border area with immediate effect. And still on Tigray crisis, the United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights has announced that it would be investigating alleged serious abuses and rights violations in Ethiopia's Tigray region. The commission, who stated this on March 25th, also added that the probe, which will be carried out jointly by the High Commissioner's Office and the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission (EHRC), forms part of the much-needed accountability process for the victims. The development comes after fighting began in the North Ethiopian state on the 4th of November 2020 between forces loyal to regional power brokers and former National Ruling Party, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, and the current national government forces. And this is your digital first Pan-African network, TOS Television. You are watching TOS News 360. The news will continue shortly after this timeout. Welcome back. At least 24 others were injured and taken to hospitals, he said in a statement. Police cordoned off the area, keeping back the curious and people apparently looking for relatives in the building. Workers were seen using bulldozers to clear away debris. It was not immediately clear what caused the building collapse in Egypt. An engineering committee was formed to examine the structural integrity of neighboring buildings, Abel said. And the European Union's Medicine Agency has approved 3 new production sites for coronavirus vaccines in a bid to boost the continent's supply of shots after weeks of delays and shortages. The EMA said it had approved facilities in the Netherlands, Germany and Switzerland to churn out vaccines made respectively by AstraZeneca, Pfizer and Moderna. The agency also said it was granting more feasible storage conditions to the Pfizer vaccine, which had so far required ultra-low temperature of around -70 degrees Celsius. The Ukrainian army said 4 soldiers have died and 2 others were injured in a bombing in the eastern part of the country. It said that a pro-Russia separatists, which have controlled swathes of eastern Ukraine since 2014, had targeted a Ukrainian military position with mortars, grenade launchers and machine guns. The attack in the Donetsk region marks the worst loss of life in the region. U.S. President Joe Biden has invited President Muhammadu Buhari and 39 other world leaders to virtual summit to galvanize efforts in tackling the climate crisis. The 2-day summit is expected to mark America's return to the front lines of the fight against human-caused climate change after former President Trump disengaged from the process. The White House says the summit is scheduled for April 22nd to 23rd. It hopes that the meeting will help shape, speed up, and deepen global efforts to cut climate-wrecking fossil fuel pollution. Dozens of civilians, including children, were reportedly killed across Myanmar on Saturday as the military government put on a major show of strength for the annual Armed Forces Day, even as it struggles to quell widespread protests against its rule. Protesters against the February 1 military coup came out on the street at Yangon, Mandalay and other towns, defying military, warning that they could be shot in the head and back. This is your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. You're still watching TOS News 360. We will be right back. Welcome back. In business, Iran and China have signed a long stating 25-year cooperation accord as both countries remain under United States sanctions. The agreement was signed in Tehran on Saturday by Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif and China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Wang, who touched down in Tehran Friday for a two-day visit as part of his Middle East trip, also met with President Hassan Rouhani and Ali Larijani, a representative of the Supreme Leader Ali Husseini Khamenei, who is said to have been the point person on the 25-year accord. And the federal government has reiterated its commitment to assist the nation's micro, small and medium enterprises for global competitiveness through effective implementation of policies and programs. The Minister of State, Industry, Trade and Investment, Marian Katungu, disclosed this during the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Nigeria Entrepreneurs Forum and Organization of Women in International Trade in Abuja. The minister, who was represented by the Deputy Director, Industrial Development Department, John Opalua, says the 70 billion SME Survivor Fund and Guaranteed Off-Take scheme was designed to capture 45% female-owned businesses.
The critical role MSMEs play in the development of the national and global economy in terms of employment generation and contribution to gross domestic product cannot be overemphasized. It is in recognition of this that the federal government of Nigeria gives special attention to the growth and development of the MSME sector, with special emphasis on women-owned enterprises. I am optimistic that the implementation of the policy will set the MSMEs on the path of sustainable growth and development. The ministry has commenced the stakeholders' engagement on drafting of national policy on startups so as to keep pace with innovation and new way of digital revolution of startup ecosystem in the country, and reposition the Nigerian startups to be major contributors to the nation's gross domestic product.
Since trade and investment policies and agreements are gender neutral, they are equally considered not to be gender sensitive, especially in Nigeria. I'm not trying to indict the Nigerian government, but I'm trying to say that we should be more responsive when it comes to gender inclusion. It is noteworthy to mention that the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, AfTA framework, includes an objective of gender inequality, Article 3E, which can only ride on the principles of gender mainstreaming.
The Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDEN, has reviewed that the African Development Bank, AFDB, has spent $600,000 on the establishment of Abuja Industrial Development Center as part of its contribution to boosting small-scale enterprises in the country. The $600,000 grant was committed as expended on the feasibility study that was carried out by the bank. The project, situated at the 2 industrial area of the Federal Capital Territory, is a one-shop furniture cluster being put in place by SMEDEN to enable furniture-related SMEs to have access to regulatory agencies and the markets. Access Bank has received regulatory approval for its proposed acquisition of Grow Bank Limited, a South African lender, according to a statement signed by Sunday Ikochi, Access Bank's company secretary. Grow Bank, formerly known as South African Bank of Athens, is a financial firm committed to supporting the food and agriculture value chain in South Africa and the African continent at large. In September, Access Bank said it received the approval in principle of the Central Bank of Nigeria to restructure into holding company. The bank also announced a definite agreement with Grow Capital Holding to invest in Grow Bank Limited over 2 tranches. Ikochi said Access Bank has received the approval of both South African and Nigerian regulatory authorities for its proposed acquisition of Grow Bank. He said the development is a significant milestone in the transaction, which is expected to be completed in the second quarter of 2021. And on entertainment news, a fast-rising comedian Wisdom Osame, also known as Call Me Wizzy, has gotten the attention of a top entertainment industry giants such as Don Jazzy, Iyabo Ojo, Lasisi Elenu, Kofi Taguru, Sam Clef, Wari Pikin, among others, with his recent skit. The skit highlighted the travails of the Nigerian youth even after struggling to acquire a university degree, and the employment search still lingers on. Don Jazzy took to his Instagram page to upload the skit with the caption, "This is so dope, hard guy nearly cry safe as I dey watch." And on sports, England manager Gareth Southgate says he will have to make a last-minute decision over whether Liverpool captain Jordan Henderson can make the Three Lions squad for the European Championship. Southgate has explained that Henderson's injury means the midfielder will face a fitness race that will go close to the end of the season, casting doubt on how many times he will be able to play for Liverpool again this campaign. Marcus Rashford and Bukayo Saka have been ruled out of England's World Cup qualifiers against Albania and Poland. The Three Lions got the road to Qatar off to a straightforward start against San Marino on Thursday, with Dominic Calvert-Lewin scoring a brace in a comprehensive 5-0 Wembley win. Rashford and Saka both missed that match, and the Football Association has confirmed the pair will be absent for the entirety of this month's World Cup qualification triple header. Manchester United are reportedly ready to welcome home Jesse Lingard. According to The Sun, Manchester United are considering bringing Lingard back into the fold ahead of the summer and could hand him a brand new deal. Lingard has 1 year left on his current £100,000 a week contract and could receive a 3-year extension. United will receive competition from West Ham, who are hoping to sign the winger on a permanent deal in the summer. But Lingard is keen to make things work at Old Trafford. And a breaking news, Super Eagles of Nigeria have defeated the Squirrels of Benin Republic, scoring 1-0. With this victory, the Eagles have qualified for the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations, and they will go through to the finals in Cameroon as winners of Group L. That is TRS News 360 on your digital first Pan-African News Network. For more updates, visit www.torstv.network.com and do follow and like TRS Television Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Do stay with us and enjoy more programs on TRS Television Network. I am Rose Audu, and thanks for watching.
But we as a continent must now define ourselves